And
hello everyone. Hello and welcome to Unlock Your Powers of Creation free webinar with Creative Consciousness International and with two PC lead traders. It's me, Violeta Prushakova, coming to you live from Europe, from Berlin, and my beautiful, wise woman, colleague and friend, Kirti Kaur, coming to us live from South Africa.
yes, very excited for tonight's webinar and spending the next 60 to 70 minutes with you. Violeta and I will be leading the Master 1 in South Africa in March. And I just see a note from Paula that she's unable to hear anything.
Okay. Because she can't hear us, we would need to type. I'm going to type it now.
Okay, awesome.
And while I'm typing, Kirti, maybe you can say a couple of words about us, because I'm busy typing and I can't talk.
Sure. So welcome everyone. This webinar is part of a new creation within our organization, Creative Consciousness International, where we choose to provide this platform free of charge with certain themes. So some of you may or may not have been present to Mark's webinar on the Shadow and Light Retreat, which was run a couple of weeks ago. And it's just a platform where you can ask questions. We take you through a mini process. We provide you with some material content. You get to meet us. It's a personal space in which we can interact. So I'm going to start my video so you're not looking at a blank screen. There we go. Now you can see me. So Violeta and I will be leading on behalf of Creative Consciousness International, the Master 1 in March. And we thought that it would be a good idea to create this platform where we can provide you with an hors d'oeuvre around creation, which is a central theme in Master 1.
Yes.
So, yeah, Violeta, do you want to go into our intro?
Yes, okay. Now Carla has her sound sorted, it's all working, and we can now officially continue. And all right, everyone, once again, welcome. This is Unlock Your Power of Creation webinar. We're going to go for about an hour. And what you can expect today is an hour of meeting us, an hour of inspiration, an hour of content, and an hour of creation. Because guess what? All of us do have creative, infinite, unlimited power and potential within us, but we sometimes don't know how to use it, or we don't know how to use it constructively, because we are creating our reality all the time. And the question is, are we creating from subconscious beliefs, from limiting patterns from the past, hence perpetuating our past and making our future just a different version and a different rendition of what we have already lived? Or are we actually creating from vision? So how do we take our true dreams, our authentic desires, and start living them? That is the question that we're going to address today. And I'd like to start by sharing with you actually the bigger mission of creative consciousness. And just give me a second, because my slides are stuck for a second, so I need to restart my little PowerPoint here. But while it is restarting, I'm just going to talk. So Creative Consciousness International is a global movement, and it is a global organization. And our vision is very simple. It's very bold, but very simple. Not more, not less than to make love a worldwide reality. That's why we do what we do. And under that bigger vision, our mission in our work and everything we do is twofold. First, it is to awaken the essence in people, be that individuals or companies. So we are here to support you to awaken your real true essence, who you truly really are. We're not going to tell you who to be. We want you to be who you already are and just bring it out like a beautiful flower opening. That's our job, to support you in opening up and coming into your full potential, into full blossoming. And second, to support you in fulfilling on your greatness, and to support you in really that potential that you sense, that you know is there, supporting you in starting to live it to your fullest potential, such that every day you can close your eyes and go to sleep with a feeling like, okay, I have really lived, not just survived, not just dragged myself through the day, but I have really lived to the fullest, to my fullest capacity. That's what we're doing. And I do believe that it's not a coincidence that you are here. If you are here online with us today, if you made the time, we just want to thank you and show our respect to all of you for making time in your busy life. And we work a lot in creative consciousness with the so-called law of resonance. In other teachings, it's also known as law of attraction. So something resonated with you when maybe somebody told you about this webinar, maybe you saw it on Facebook. No matter how you found out about it, you are here. So something in this content, this energy that we are transmitting is meant for you. So we welcome you here. I'm just planting this seed for you to consider that perhaps there is something for you to get out of today. And we want to take a moment to, before we go into the content, to introduce ourselves so you know who is speaking. And Kirti, I'm handing over to you so you can tell them a little bit about yourself while I'm sorting out the PowerPoint.
Okay, sure. So I joined Creative Consciousness in 2015. I met a graduate in November 2014, and we had a cup of coffee, and I resonated with what she had to say and the impact that she was committed to creating in the world. And I just found that incredibly inspiring. So I investigated, and in January 2015, I attended Master 1 with the intention of becoming a coach. So one of the things that I do is I am an expert consciousness coach, and I'm busy with my PCC credential through the ICF at the moment. I absolutely love what I do. I love the coaching aspect. I also absolutely love training. So I'm a lead trainer on the public programs, and I'm also a lead trainer within the corporate space. And that is exactly where my passion lies, in taking this work and creating a window of possibility for people in business, in the corporate world, where the masks that we wear are so thick, where we've forgotten what it's like to be human, and we've lost touch with our soul desires, the things that make us tick, the things that ignite our passion, the things that resonate with the essence of who we are. So I absolutely love doing that. And it's my pleasure to do that in March with Violetta. So I hand it back to you, Violetta, to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Kirti. It's the pleasure is all mine. It's beautiful to work together, and that's actually what I love about Creative Consciousness, is that you get to meet like the best people ever, soul friends and friends for life, people who are on the same wavelength, who want to develop, who want to grow, who are committed to excellence, who are committed to human development and human potential. And above all that, what I love about Creative Consciousness and the people that we attract to our trainings and as trainers, as team, is that they are so real. We can have the most real, raw conversations and just be fully open, be spontaneous, be ourselves, have a lot of fun with each other. So we are not, some lofty spiritual people who are above others. No, we are just very real people with real stuff, with real issues, who are not afraid to be open and vulnerable about it, and who just wish for the world to be real. And me, myself, I'm a lead trainer, mentor, coach, speaker, and within creative consciousness, I'm also, since this year, director of marketing, brand, and communications. And what makes me tick is helping people connect with their truth. I'm so passionate about core essence of human beings, unpacking people like an onion, you know, peeling the layers, peeling away the unnecessary, peeling away the untruths, and coming back to the core, to everyone's vision, truth, essence, that soul desire that is propelling you forward in life. And what this work has given me, it has given me the possibility to live my purpose, the possibility to take all that fire that I have, all those gifts and abilities that I had as a child, when everybody thought that I'm just weird, and actually put it to use, and use all my healing abilities and skills and talents for greater good. So it's like a vehicle for me to live my purpose. And this is also what allows me to support other people with discovering and living their purpose. What I also wanted to show you is that creative consciousness was established by Mark Steinberg. Here he is. He is an international speaker, published author, master coach of International Coach Federation. And he's been doing this work for over 30 years. So the work that we do, our material, our trainings, our methodology is the sum total of a lot of research, a lot of experience working with thousands of people. And Mark, in his ingenuity, managed to combine the best of both worlds, of Eastern philosophy. He studied with Krishnamurti, he studied yoga, spirituality, and so on, and Western approaches. And so far, we've had the honor of working with people from over 40 countries on 4 continents, facilitating trainings everywhere from South Africa to India to everywhere. And what we offer you is impactful transformational processes, methods, cutting-edge creation tools, and this is exactly what we're going to dive into in a moment. So the question to you is, if you knew that your power to create anything you wanted was truly unlimited, what would you use this power for? And I'm just pausing here, giving you a moment to ponder it. And I invite you to share with us in the chat box what comes up. And please be specific. What would you use this creation power for? Just allowing yourself to consider the unlimited possibility, because as Kirti is about to tell you, we've got.
Oh, I love that, Shideshi, to help people discover theirs.
Yeah. What else?
So that question again is, if you knew that your power to create anything that you wanted was truly unlimited. So this is really stepping into that blank canvas. This is being a child, and you know, if you could wish for anything and that you knew you had the power to create, what would that be? Completely out of the box. Yeah, it's a fabulous question, Vera. And this is the thing, right? We are so conditioned to thinking within the box. So thinking within the mind of what is realistic, what is possible, what can I have? And this is where we're stepping into with creation. See, creation can happen in 2 ways. And the first way is within personal power. And this is where we limit ourselves. You know, personal power is the power that's available to us that is limited to space, time, and knowledge. So it's everything that the mind thinks is logical and plausible. It's what we are conditioned to believe is possible within this realm. And to get there, we either find ourselves needing to work harder, or to work longer or to work smarter, but we're constantly pushing ourselves. Yeah, so we're limited to what we often call our willpower. We are limited to what we believe we know, to the knowledge that our mind has. We're limited to experience. We're limited to what we can interpret in language in this world. So that is one of the ways in which we create, through our personal power. And Violetta is going to take us through some of the limitations in a minute. The second way that we can create is through consciousness power. And this is the powerful awareness that creative consciousness brings to all of its work, to the entire body of work, to all of the processes. To create through consciousness, one of the key principles that is required is awareness. And so every single process, every training, retreat, coaching session is underpinned by the awareness process. We support, through everything that we do, increasing your awareness. Why? Violetta mentioned that the law of attraction, the law of resonance is at work here, and that is why you are here tonight. Something in you resonated with what we are offering, and that has drawn you and us together in this space. So if you consider, I think some of us have done this at school on a very elementary level, energy, you take energy. Energy exists as a result of a movement within polarities. And that movement within the polarity, so your electrons, your protons, and your neutrons have a particular flow that then also creates an electromagnetic field. And we all know, as from being kids and playing with magnets, that there are two movements that happen when you have an electromagnetic field or when you have polarities present. One is attraction, the other is repulsion. So just using this small, simplistic example of how electricity and electromagnetic energy works, we can see that there are three laws involved just in that space that impact creation. The first being the polarity. Yeah, so the law of polarity. And within that law of polarity, this law of polarity serves the law of resonance or attraction. Yeah? And then that law serves the law of oneness, because when you bring both polarities together, they become one and they no longer exist as two polarities. They are one. So the law of attraction, the law of resonance, and the law of polarity serves the law of oneness. And within those three laws, we are able to create. So what's important then is to become aware of who we are being and what are we doing to attract what we are attracting into our space. Because absolutely everything within our reality is created by us, either knowingly or unknowingly. So this is quite a huge body of material to go into. And we're not going to do that tonight. We only have 60 minutes. On Master One, we delve deeper. In the retreats, we delve deeper. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Violetta, who's going to look at, so when we create within consciousness, one of the things that we can do is we can support our brain through our personal power to wire in a way that supports what we are creating through consciousness. And Violetta is going to tell us more about that.
Yes, thank you. Before I go there, a beautiful question from Vera from the chat box that I want to address. I think it could be interesting for everyone. She says, well, my problem is that I want to create everything. Yes. I want to become a singer, traveler, therapist, dancer, artist, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that is sometimes called being multi-passionate. Well, Vera, then in that case, first you can create clarity on how to choose. power of choosing is something that we teach in Master One, and it's groundbreaking, I believe, because when we have many options, how do we choose and how to get clarity? What is, let's say, what would be the closest resonance to my essence? What can I express myself through? So you can literally create anything you want, meaning if there are many options, or if you don't know where to start, you can start with clarity.
Yeah, and also the 8 golden rules, creation rules, that we're going to go through in a moment later on in this webinar will also support that. And seeing how the power of choice is a consequence of consciousness. Lovely. Thank you,
yeah. So we talk a lot about those two sides. Yeah, on the one side we have the past, we have circumstances, we have reaction, we have basically creation from limitation. Even if you are hyper productive, even if you're drinking all the green juice in the world and eating spirulina like it was air, all of us have only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we can create only that much for that long. So personal power will always be somewhat limited. And if you are someone who wants to be a game changer in the world, if you want to be a conscious leader, or if you are somebody who is ambitious and driven and a visionary, you don't want to be limited only by this personal power. You don't want to be limited by all those restrictions that the world is placing on you all the time, especially if you are someone who is here to change the world, to bring positive change. What do you do then? Well, then you got to move to the other side, which is creation. It's not just reacting and trying to change. It's actually stepping into creation and moving from vision, moving from essence. And this is something that, just to be clear, that society does not train us in. Normally, that is not how we operate in the world. We are always taught by education, by our society, to just respond, to react, to rely on technology, to rely on advice, to perpetuate into the future what society and parents and generations have been doing for centuries and for ages. And at some point, for those of us who question the status quo, and if you are someone who does question status quo, please just put plus in the chat box so we know who you are. I know you're there. Some groundbreakers and wayseers and so on, that's who we're talking to. So if you want to change the status quo, just put a plus. Yeah, so we feel trapped and we start looking, but what else is there? How else can I live? I don't want to just repeat the scenarios that my family is imposing on me. What do I do then? How do I create? How do I create from vision? How do I create from essence? And this is something completely new. This is something that we are not aware of, that we are not aware of. This is the blind spot that we don't even know we have. And this is what creative consciousness work is dedicated to educate people, to uncover that blind spot, and to give you back that which is your birthright, the right of creation, but we just never develop those skills. So when we teach all that on our signature breakthrough training on Master One, we are literally filling in the gaps in our educational system and in the system of human upbringing, where we teach you that second line. What do we do? How do we create from vision, essence, and creation? And so here, hold on, where is this? Just give me a second. Yeah. And so there are many of us that carry those hidden blocks just from that disconnection, from not knowing how to create. We have subconscious that is recording all the times we failed, all the times somebody told us you're not good enough, all the times we decided, it's not worth it. Yeah, so those limitations and stories, they will be that which is creating and coloring your reality. Lack of self-love, feeling you are not worthy of those results. Maybe I'm not worthy of that love, or not worthy of that business. Lack of energy, disconnection from life. You have to drag yourself out of bed. You're like, I'm barely managing to survive. What are you talking? Create? Like, what am I to create? Let me wake up for once. Low integrity, so where you don't even trust that you're going to make it. Self-delusion, inauthenticity, where you're not following your real path. And the real kicker is resignation. You know, if we are really honest with ourselves, we have no idea how many of us have actually resigned. We don't even dare to want what we want because we lost any faith in being able to make any difference at all. And those hidden blocks are creating our reality unless they are addressed. So we do need to make the unconscious conscious. We do need to look at blind spots, and Master One is this space where we do that. Because if we are to move towards creation, towards essence, towards authenticity, we first need to expose everything that we are not. So it's not anything new that we need to become in order to create. It is rather remove that which is not us that we need to tackle. And so that movement from a reaction into creation is a journey. It is a transformational journey, and in between, in that movement, there are processes, tools, practices. It's just work that we need to do to rewire our brain and to learn to do life differently. So that's, yeah, I see that there are lots of pluses in the chat box on it. And just to give you an example, we would love to share, and Kirti will share with you now. So how was it for you? How did you move from reaction to creation? Just to give people a tangible breakdown of how that actually happens. How do we move from perpetuating the past into creating from the power of consciousness? Hold on, I need to unmute you. Yes, here we go.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So, as Violetta mentioned, one of the things we are conditioned to do is to react to our life, to react to our circumstances, to react to the knowledge we have, and then we keep ourselves limited within, we can hardly call it possibilities, but what our options are in this space, in this limited space. And when we deal with options, then we're in a space of change. So we're still within the same space, and again, still limited. So we stay stuck in reaction, we stay stuck in personal power. I, in Master One, through the authenticity inquiry, became aware of my act and what was true for me. And my act was that I had dealt with the loss of a child, and I hadn't blamed anyone, and I was moving on quite comfortably with my life, and everything was hunky-dory. That was my act. And what was true was that on some level, I had actually blamed myself. And as a reaction to that belief that I was to blame, which was all sitting in the I didn't know this, I became a parent that was parenting in a way that created dependent relationships. So I would do everything for everyone. I wanted to protect everyone. I was this helicopter mom, and I thought I was being a fabulous parent. But actually, what I was doing was not allowing my kids to enable themselves, my husband as well, and actually disempowering everyone. So staying within this limited space of reaction didn't allow me to see that I could empower my kids, which is ultimately what I wanted, right? And only when I stepped out of it, completely out of that space, was I able to see the possibility of interacting with them in a way that was authentic for me, which also resulted in them being empowered. So that shifted me from reacting to what had happened in my life, reacting to what I believed as a result of what had happened, into creating completely new relationships with my loved ones. That was very powerful for me. You have one, Violetta?
Yeah, sure thing. So from my side, you know, so when I look at reaction creation, what comes up for me a lot is, for me in my journey, it was a lot about getting out of resignation. And that had to do with embracing fully who I am. And instead of just micromanaging my reactions to all the people who doubt me, or all the naysayers, or people who tell me you are too much, or just be normal already. You are not supposed to want what you want. Just follow the proven path. You can't change anything. Just calm down, girl. When I got to Master One, so before Master One, I felt like I'm in hiding. I felt in hiding. I didn't feel understood or seen or valued, and I felt like I'm just like sitting here on this earth without any clue of what am I supposed to do with all my dreams and everything I think I know I can do. And I knew who I was, but I didn't love who I was. And I was only dependent on validation from the outer reality, which I was not receiving because I was different. Let's go that way. Yeah. And then I get to Master One, which I did in Maastricht in Holland. And there suddenly I received all this information and I saw the big picture. Suddenly the big picture really clicked for me and I was like, wow, actually I was right all along. And there where I could really confront my resignation and look at my energy and look at where am I giving my power away, and I could claim it back through some impactful processes, especially something that we do with source energy when we work on the reclamation of our anger and healing our anger and shifting our anger into passion. Because I realized I was actually freaking angry. I was so angry. That allowed me to start loving myself. And I remember 2 trainers who were on team, they came up to me and they said, you are so lovable. And that I still remember this one phrase is still in my head. And they made me realize that I don't need to hear it actually from anybody. I need to know that about myself. And from trusting that actually I can be me, I can say full yes to my essence. I don't need to be any different. I don't need to hide. I can believe that I'm worth it. That got me started on the path, because since my teenage years I wanted to do work that is related to psychology, philosophy, and all the big mystical questions of the world. And then soon after my Master One, I got invited to start my coach journey and trainer journey in South Africa. That's how I ended up living in Cape Town for a while, and then the rest is history. So that was 9 years ago, and now I am leading Master One. Who would have thought? So from being in complete resignation, giving up on dreams, to living my purpose and living my dream life, because that is what becomes possible when we go into real creation, when we tap into that power, when we unlock that power. And I guess by now people want to know, what are you really talking about? So let me start showing this screen again. Say, what is the solution actually? What do we see? How to move from reaction and being stuck in old patterns and feeling like you're not living your true life, to creation and to following that path? Well, first you need to be in a safe space to get real with your life and to look at what is really going on. And what we provide from our side is Master One, which is that playground where you can come get real with your life, knowing that it's absolutely safe, that we hold this space for you, and we will have thought-provoking perspectives. We're going to deconstruct the world in Master One. We're going to put it upside down. So, a reality check: if you're not open-minded and if you don't want to question things, don't come. Yeah. So, oh, you know, she says, "Feel in your passion." Oh, I've got a lot of that, and that's just online. Come in person, you will see. Yeah. So, thought-provoking perspective. You got to challenge your perspective. If you've been telling this story over and over again that, oh, I'm unlovable, oh, nobody sees me, nobody likes me, you got to challenge that. You got to look from a different angle, because we are all telling ourselves stories all the time, 24/7. And sometimes this story, guess what? This is already creating your reality. We are creating our reality 24/7. So if I tell you, hey, you can create your reality, it's not something new. You are creating your reality already. But the question is, what place are you creating it from? Are you creating it from stories that you don't even know you have, and your life just becomes the manifestation of that? Yeah, and then we have impactful processes to break those old patterns. They need to be deconditioned through energy work, through cellular level change, such that they stop owning you. And guess what? This transformation, it does not happen in your head. It does not happen at home when you're reading a fancy book. It also does not happen when you cry into the pillow. It does not happen when you are just having a chat with a friend. Deep cellular transformation, and you don't have to agree with me, by the way, I don't expect that at all. But real transformation happens when you put yourself on the line. It happens through being witnessed. It happens through entering a consciously held space. Like in ancient times, that's what people did in mystery schools. That's what they did sitting around the fire with the tribe on a full moon, you know. So we are not going into woo or hippie stuff, no, but we hold modern time ancient mystery school. Basically, that's how I see it. We are just resurrecting the knowledge that you can find in all ancient philosophies, and we are just giving it a modern twist, and we are facilitating professional space that allows you to unravel in that way and unveil and be seen and be witnessed. Yeah. And then we give you practical creation tools that allow you to put all of that into implementation. And we're going to share with you 8 golden creation rules, which are like our signature system or a mind or a map for doing that. So kids, I went on the rant. Do you want to share?
Yes, so what I wanted to say was that, you know, the beauty of all of this work is that there's a process. So we've shared with you shifting from reaction to creation. One of the big shifts that happens is that you step away from your conditioning, you see your conditioning, you see your limiting possibilities. But as Violetta just said, that it doesn't end there. Creation doesn't just happen because you see a new possibility. You have to then be in action. And it's when we start being in action that the possibility for the manifestation of what we can see becomes a reality. Yeah. So action is required for manifestation. And in the action process, we get challenged as well. So there's a number of things that you can do, and we are going to take you through the creation rules now. So Violetta, do you want to do the first one?
Yes, so 8 golden creation rules. Hold on, just looking on the chat. Yeah, wishful thinking is not enough, Sybil. Sybil is right, exactly. So, okay, so how do we roll? So 8 golden creation rules are basically a holistic system that encompasses the essence of our teaching. And we're gonna go through them now so you have an understanding of the complete picture. So, rule number 1. Choose your creation and ignite its manifestation with a speech act. So you might be already familiar with things like law of attraction, the word manifestation, and what nobody talks about actually is the deeper layer of language and how the entire linguistic matrix of the world operates. If you've ever watched this movie, The Matrix, you remember the green letters that are all on all the posters. It's quite a famous picture, The Matrix. So actually, language is the fabric of reality. And on Master One, we unpack that more deeply. And a speech act, it's the word we use for you declaring what is it that you are creating in language in a specific way where you start using words as actions. So it's pretty Jedi level reality creation, and like we don't have time to go into that now. I can't explain it in 5 minutes. We basically take 2 days to explain that. But the principle is, just the principle of creation is that you need to launch this creation in language as an action. So, and you got to be very clear on what it is that you are creating. It gives everything context, then it is precise. It's not just wishful thinking, as we said, then it becomes real. You literally make a commitment and you launch it through language. And that's in essence what it is. And from there, the next one.
Yeah. So the next one, what you desire to create, first create as an inner reality, using your mind for creative imagination in order to establish a solid reality of the complete creation in your brain. So this is based on a number of principles. The first is that we can use the mind in the process of creation. So instead of the mind owning us through its chatter and its thoughts and feelings, etc., consciously employing your mind to create what it is that you are committed to creating. So that's the first thing. The second is the inner reality. Why? Because our brain is unable to distinguish between imagination and reality. So you can use imagination to create a new reality within your brain. If we do not create the new reality in our brain, then our brain only has within its database of what is available all our conditioned ways of thinking and doing things. Yeah. So we can constantly create new realities in our brain so that those programs become available to the brain. We do that through creative imagination. There's a specific meditation process that can be used, and that allows the brain to pull on programs, a whole lot of different programs, possibly even existing programs, to support creating that. When that reality is complete internally, then by the law of resonance and attraction, what is true internally must be true externally, and therefore the law of resonance will go out into life and attract back to you that which is true in your reality, inner reality. There's a lot more to that. This is just a very nutshell explanation of this.
And to run with your example, Kirti, for example, if you're moving into number 3, yeah, where you need to become aware of old existing sabotaging beliefs and realities and create new supporting ones. So, for example, if you have an inner reality, I don't deserve, I'm unworthy, then by law of resonance, it becomes your outer reality. You experience not deserving, so not having or not receiving what you want, because inside it is truth. And this belief and this inner reality is creating its perfect vibrational match. And some of those are so deeply rooted, we don't even see them. And we might be wondering, why am I always having this type of a partner in my life? Why am I always losing money? Well, perhaps somewhere deep down there is a shadow, there is an incompletion, there is something unforgiven. So you need to become aware of that. And then also something that very often gets forgotten or not addressed. Yes, it's one thing to clear it, to release it through various methods and processes. There are tons of them nowadays, and it's amazing that there's so much work that can support us. But look, it's not the law of physics. If, let's say, if I now take this candle out of my candle holder, now the space is free. What do I fill this space with? I can fill it with something new, with new reality, with new language that I need to place into my matrix. Because if I don't do that, if I don't choose what I put into this space, it will get occupied by something. And it will be that old beliefs will come back just from habit, because it takes time for brain to rewire. And if you have been carrying it for 30 years, it's very likely it will just come back, or it will come back from your environment. You will pick it back up from your mom who has given it to you in the first place, or things like that, or it will just fly from the collective conditioning, which impacts all of us. So you need to be very careful when you're doing personal development work, that you not only focus on releasing the past and clearing, but that you also are bringing in the new, bringing in the self-chosen reality, installing it in. And we call that neuroconditioning. This is something that we teach in all our trainings, giving you a very practical system that you can use. So your new space can be used for creation, and then with that you mitigate the risk of old reality coming back and old beliefs that continue again and again.
Yeah. So moving on to number 4, and this is detach by embracing the worst case scenario, law of polarity. Basically, that means you cannot have success without embracing the possibility of failure. So it's really being able to identify and have your relationship, your context for any polarity. Yeah. So if a successful business is what you're committed to creating, then having in your awareness what your relationship to the possibility of failure is, and really being able to embrace that so that it is not created for you to embrace. Yeah. So if you are focused solely on success, and you are spending a lot of energy trying to suppress the possibility of failure, then this possibility of failure needs to show itself. So it's like a little child that needs attention that goes, mommy, mommy, mommy. So the possibility of failure then manifests so that both polarities, remember the law of oneness is the law that is served by all other laws. So that oneness can happen, both polarities need to exist. So it's important to be able to acknowledge both polarities in creating something.
Yes, brilliant. Thank you. And from there, we go to next law, law number 5, which is my favorite. Surrender in totality and choose to serve the manifestation of your creation unconditionally. Well, my question to you, you don't have to answer in the chat. It's just for you to check with yourself. Have you ever experienced totality? Meaning, how often in your life do you experience giving 100%? And be careful here, I don't mean giving more. So I'm not talking about working 16-hour days for the rest of your life without sleep. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, if right now, let's say you are having dinner with your partner, that you are with your partner in totality 100%, and you are not thinking about the grocery list, and you are not thinking about your assignment at work, then when you're doing the dishes, have you ever tried doing the dishes in totality as if this is the only thing in the entire universe that matters now? Then you see what I mean? Have you ever lived in totality? Because most people, again to my favorite theme of resignation, we live life with one leg out. So just pondering it in the days to come, are you actually living your life in totality? Are you a full-hearted, full-bodied yes to life? Or is there a back door that you still hope that maybe aliens will come and abduct you? Or that maybe you just get to sit this one out and you do not need to participate fully, that you get to hold on to some back doors and that you're still like checking it out. You are not sure. You are kind of committed, but kind of not. Guess what? When that unconditionality happens, then life starts giving. Because when you show up for life, life starts showing up for you. It does not work the other way around, unfortunately. Otherwise, everybody would already be a billionaire and would have found their soulmate and would have saved the world. But unfortunately, many of us have those hidden patterns of backdoors and so on, and we gotta be in that totality. And surrender means that you let life happen. There are two powers, the feminine and the masculine, that work in co-creation, where we just throw ourselves into our word, into our commitment, into our creation, and we give it our all. We are full in, full yes, or not. It's clean cut. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to create. Just to be clear, it's up to you. But your choice needs to be clean and pure. Do you choose to create it or not? And then when you surrender, you basically allow for the possibility of trust, and you allow for the possibility of your creation manifesting. You don't need to know how, you don't need to know when. You only know that you are giving your best to the point of excellence, moment by moment, and the rest is up to life. And
Yeah. You've got the destination, you've got the vision, you know exactly what it is you are choosing to create. You're fully committed and you are choosing to serve your creation. So you know where you're going, you have the vehicle, but that car is not going to move unless it has petrol. So similarly, all creations require that you have energy available to direct towards your creation. So it's important here to be able to identify and become aware of what is taking away from your energy. So for example, suppressing the other polarity would take energy away. Not allowing yourself to tap into your personal core reservoir of energy would also not allow energy to be available. When we are not aligned with our soul purpose, so with the essence of who we are and our vision, then again we lose energy. When we dilute our efforts, so when we are not in totality, when we are conditional, for example, then again our energy is dispersed. So every time we go into resistance and we are not in surrender, again, we are reducing the energy that's available. So energy, number 6, is key for our creation.
I was just taking a little picture of our webinar for for our people. Yes, and next up, be always alert and flexible, letting the whole show you the way, and persevere until creation is complete. This is also a very beautiful principle that that shows us that we don't know how the creation will manifest, but if it is in totality and if it is aligned, we got to keep sourcing and move with life, allowing life to move us and not give up, even if it doesn't go our way, even if it's not as quick as we would want for it to be, or if it doesn't show up the way we want. So sometimes we've got to detach from our list and just co-create and be in sourcing mode and move around the hurdles that emerge, because in that there is also beautiful opportunity to transform and to confront our limitations or confront our misperceptions and bring up, because once you are in committed action, once you are in creation, it's not just a smooth ride, it will resurface everything in you that is not yet a match for that final reality that you are aiming towards. So it will bring up all your limitations, it will come to the surface, and then you are just clearing the ground. Yeah, one by one you start doing that in co-creation with life. We use the word we whole, but we mean as the universe. We mean life, the universe, whatever you want to name that. And that's how we roll. Yeah, and next up then.
Yeah, so practice gratitude from the beginning, celebrate every step, bless every result, learn and expand as you manifest your creation. See, another thing that we're conditioned to do is to focus on the destination, to focus on some future event. And in that space, when we are focused out there or back there in the past, what we lose out on is seeing the gifts that are present to us in the journey, which exist in the now. So when we choose to practice gratitude, then we are able to celebrate in this moment everything that is available in this moment. We are able to see the gifts in everything. Even if something doesn't go in the way that we expected it or wanted it to go, we can see the gift in what is true. And we are also able to see what is missing in the process and therefore learn and expand as we journey. So in every moment, in each step, being able to see what is possible here, what is the gift here, what is the learning, where can I expand, what is new, what is possible. Yeah? So just being present to the now in the journey.
Yes, so those are the 8 golden creation rules. And just opening the space, are there any questions? So any questions? So feel free to type it up in the chat, anything about this content. And in the meantime, while you are thinking, just know that we have given you the overview of creation principles that we work with. Now you might have this picture in your head. Now implementation and training of all that is happening on Master 1, which is a 4-day process. It's a game changer for your entire life. As I said, it's a transformational space where we do these processes, we teach those tools, we master creation, we work through our resistances, and we emerge on the other side. So it's like a big life turnaround. Next one is in March 14-17 in Joburg. And to if you want to know more, sign up, register, inquire. You can get in touch with us by emailing to southafrica@creativeconsciousness.com. And I wanted to show you just an image of what it looks and feels like. So when you are with us on the training, so this is our beautiful venue in Johannesburg. Lovely participants. This is the inside. We recently had beginning of the year a workshop with Mark Steinberg there, so that's just a little preview. And what people say about the training is that some of them say like, hey, it's the most important thing I've ever done. And I guess it speaks for itself from what we've told you already. Kirti, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, what I wanted to share is that, again, linked to the journey that we offer, is whilst Violetta and I and all of the trainers and coaches within Creative Consciousness are world-class, absolutely world-class, we're well-trained, we are by no way perfect. We are not perfect. We are on this journey as well. And the beautiful gift that all of our processes provide is that it's not just for you as a participant. And every time you're exposed to the material and the processes, there's a new learning, there's a new awareness, there's a new possibility, there's a new creation that you can step into. So the learning never stops, and the unpeeling of the onion doesn't stop. So I'm very excited because of this to step into Master One on the 14th to the 17th with Violetta. There's also with there being two leads, what we each bring is the essence of who we are and why we do this work and what we can bring to the work and what the work unfolds in the presence of us, for us and others. So I'm looking forward to what I can learn from the processes that Violetta will lead, and
vice versa, yes.
And also from you, the participants, because this is a process where we bear ourselves, we become vulnerable, we become open to the process. It's the only way to really get the value out of the work. So if you are committed to your personal transformation, if you are committed to being your greatest self in this life, if you are committed to a vision, whatever that vision is, perhaps it is on the level of your potential and maybe not, but certainly you will discover that on Master One.
And I just trace the slides back to a beautiful picture. This is on a training in Moscow in Russia. Just for you to have an idea, imagine this big room with people from all possible walks of life. Often our trainings are also international. People fly in from all over the world, and they fly in both ways. People from South Africa fly to Europe, people from Europe come to South Africa, and so on. Because the trainings are international and it's the process that works. It's actually irrelevant even who is leading it. Yes, we all bring certain flavor, and I always trust that the group ends up being the exact perfect mix. And we, the team, serve as the exact perfect mirror. So again, by law of resonance, it's always perfect. So if you are deciding if you should join the training or not, trust the law of resonance. If something in you says, hey, I need to be there, there is something for me in this, I don't know what it is, it means there is already perhaps on the level of your heart, on the level of your soul, on the level of your energy, a sort of an agreement between you and us that there is something that we have to give you. So it's not even about the content, which is amazing, not even about the processes that are life-changing and that give you instant shift. It's about the very fact that there's a 4-day space where you come in and then it's like a quantum leap when you emerge on the other side, it's like a new chapter, and it will accelerate some goals that you have been working on for a long time. And if there is something that you feel like, I need some movement, I need to go to the next level, and then you come to the space, you meet all those wonderful people, you make new friends, you engage, you spend 4 days with us, and look, we work with you very personally. We get to know each other deeply, and you will receive also a lot of attention from us and support and coaching. So you will not be alone. You will, if you're wondering if it is for you, if it will work for you, we will make it work for you. I cannot promise that it will work for everyone, but what I can promise is we do our best to connect with you and to give you what you need. And we have been perfecting the Master One process for decades, so we know it works. And the only thing for you is just to show up and to surrender to the process and let it do its job. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that so Master One is the first step in the process of becoming a coach as well. So it's a powerful transformation process because it supports who you can choose to be, and also to allow you to step into your greatness, your greatest self, your potential, so that whether you are coaching or you are living your life out there, what becomes possible is that who you're showing up as is closer to the essence of who you are and your potential. So in the coaching process, it's the first step in transforming who you are as a coach, so that those possibilities become available to your clients. Because remember, our process is underpinned by the principle that we choose to be the change that we wish to see in the world, and we choose to be committed to walking our talk. So that's the first step. The second thing I wanted to mention is that whilst Master One is a powerful self-transformation program, it is also incredibly powerful in the corporate space. So if you're wondering from a corporate perspective how this will work, exceptionally powerful. I've had several people who have completed the corporate version of the creative consciousness trainings and have chosen to step into Master One for the transformational value that is present in the process of Master One. So whether you are into self-realization, whether you're into coaching, or whether you're into corporate shifts, this is definitely the portal. So what we do have, I'm not seeing any questions in the group chat, so I'm assuming that everyone's clear on what is possible. What we do have is a special that we are running. So
yes, so we have this question. Yes, kids, you want to answer, Vera?
So if you've seen it in the chat box, there are a lot of courses for finding yourself. Why should I choose this one? And yeah, you're right, choosing's coming up a lot for you tonight, which is wonderful. So I'll just repeat. The power of choice comes as a consequence of consciousness shift. So that's the first reason to choose Master One, because it will shift your consciousness and therefore your ability to see more in the realm of choice. That's the first reason. The second reason is that, my goodness, not just courses. There are books galore out there. There are people galore out there. There are coaches out there. There are so many avenues out there that you can choose. The difference that creative consciousness provides lies in the process that either a coaching session takes you through, or a training takes you through, or a retreat takes you through. You see, in the process, you have an experiential shift. That is a tangible internal shift that occurs in who you are. And when we shift who we are, then what we choose shifts automatically. Yeah. So it's an experiential shift based on the process that you are taken through. You know, when I stepped into Master One, I thought I was going to a standard coaching training. And then suddenly I went through all these processes and I started going through things that I hadn't thought about in years. And But the key thing that stood out for me was there were all these principles that I'd read about, all this knowledge that is available on the net around transformation. But none of them, none of the books, none of the other courses I've been on were able to make those principles come alive for me. In creative consciousness, it doesn't matter whether you're doing Master One, whether you're doing a retreat, whether you're in a coaching session, things come alive for you. And that for me is key, because if you can see something, then you can create it. And insight comes with experiential shifts. So that's my answer to you, Vera. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to hear them.
Brilliant answer, Kirti. And I will say two things. One, through CC, our coach training and trainer training, I feel I have received such deep training that I'm pretty confident that I can make a big difference for any participant who walks through the door. I have seen Master Ones on 3 continents. I've led Master Ones in Russia, in Germany, been on trainings in India. So I've seen all kinds of people walk through the door. I've never seen them enter the room, stay for 4 days, participate, and walk away the same. Everyone has walked away transformed, healed, enriched, and I have seen miracles happen, and I'm pretty confident that I can facilitate that. And if you, even for difficult cases, if you think you're a difficult case and that you're a difficult nut to crack, I'm not talking to Vera, I'm talking just to anyone who is listening. Well, come and see for yourself. And why? I don't know why, you see, because you choose by choosing. It's like if I give you 2 ice creams, vanilla or chocolate, which one do you choose, That's the same with trainings. Choose by resonance. You have to make a leap of faith because, we basically, when people come, they are required to trust us. Why would you trust us? Well, you can email us, ask any questions, whatever you would need. To be able to make the choice. We are happy to jump on the call with you, answer your questions, but ultimately it's it is the responsibility to make a choice purely with you. If you do sense that this is right for you, then do it. If you don't think it's right for you, then don't. That's all there is to it. So it's pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah, and we could go on and on because we're very
because we love what we do, but we are running out of time.
But I do want to say that I've always said this since I've become a trainer, that there is no high greater for me than the high I experience when I see the light switch on in another, when I see somebody come alive in their life, when I see somebody have an insight, an aha, and they're now excited about life. That for me is a high, let alone for the other person. So this is why we do what we do, because it has an impact, without doubt, on the world.
Yeah. So thank you all for being with us. And if any questions pop up in the coming days, if you would like to speak to one of us or to even speak to some of our graduates about their experience, especially if you want to know about the long-term effects, then we are gladly available. Email us to southafrica@creativeconsciousness.com to set up a conversation, to ask any logistical questions, any practical questions, or to sign up. We would love to hear from you. We thank you all so much for spending time with us today. And we look forward to connecting with you on Master One. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be well. Have a beautiful day and talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us tonight. And I'm really excited to reconnect with some of you on Master One, because I know some of you are attending Master One. And if you have friends or anybody who you think will benefit from this, please feel free to mail us. And also if you have any questions based on what we have shared tonight. And this recording, I believe, will be shared, hey, Violetta?
Yes, the recording will be made available on YouTube. Once it is uploaded within the next 24 hours, you will receive a link if you are signed up. Otherwise, you will definitely find it on our social media on Facebook, facebook.com/creative consciousness. You can find us there at all times. And thank you all again. Be well and see you soon.